Does the channel provide value?
Focus on the foundation.
I am a travel vlogger.
It's always about communication.
Build those partnerships.
What are the problems that you solve for your clients?
Just being ahead on the technological side of things.
Leading an organization.
You not only want to survive, but you want to thrive. They said it wouldn't last, and they said that you can't drive profitable and incremental revenue through the affiliate channel. But here we are, 20 years later, and the affiliate channel is alive and kicking and generating profitable revenue for thousands of retailers across the globe. Hi, I am Jamie Birch, your host of the Profitable Performance Marketing Podcast, where we talk to some of the industry's best and brightest about their careers, about leadership, and about how to drive profitable revenue through the affiliate channel. Hello, welcome to the Profitable Performance Marketing Podcast. I am your host, Jamie Birch, CEO and founder of your award-winning affiliate marketing agency, JEBCommerce. Today, I have a special guest. It is Dan Amarquaye. He is currently the head of partnerships at Envolve Technologies. But before we give you a little introduction to the episode, right now it's the beginning of the year. You're listening to this hopefully in February of 2021. And if you are planning for growth this year, you definitely want to take advantage of our 5-step online retail affiliate accelerator. We have a 5-step program that we help you go from the sales that you already have right now to exceeding your goals for the affiliate channel and beyond, whether that is new customer acquisition or simply revenue generation. So if you want to find out more about that, you can go to JEBCommerce.com/affiliate management to learn about our online retail affiliate accelerator, or you can contact me at gethelp@JEBCommerce.com. Now, on to Dan. Today we talk about a lot of things, from door-to-door sales to misconceptions advertisers have with their affiliate program, to the startups and what excites Dan so much about them, also to being acquired on a number of different occasions and in different roles, what that's like as a co-founder to sell your major project. So I'm going to just let you guys listen on. This is a great conversation with a good friend of mine and someone I admire a lot for a very exciting career. So dive in, make sure you listen through to the end. There's some great tips at the end. All right, with me today is Dan Amarquaye. Dan, thank you so much for joining us, me, on the Profitable Performance Marketing Podcast. How are you today?
I'm very well, Jamie. Thank you so much. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's a crazy week here. We don't have to get political, but who knows what's going to happen in the States and pandemic and everything. But we are doing okay. I'm excited for a good, productive week. I'm taking tomorrow off to go skiing with my kids, so I have a short week. But yeah, I'm doing well. What is going on in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, apart from lockdown and watching what's going on across the pond, which is keeping me entertained from time to time, which is interesting. Just work, really. I feel like I'm working like 24/7 at the moment, but I'm not complaining. There's not much more to do in this present time. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. We're pretty busy with what we're doing at the moment. So yeah, that's keeping me off the streets. So
Yeah. Well, that's good. Keeping you off the streets. Now we're recording this on stateside on Martin Luther King Day, and so you guys are you in your most severe lockdown from the pandemic right now?
yeah, so we're in tier 5 now. So we have been since I can't remember now. I think beginning of the month or so. So yeah, we're in severe lockdown. No socializing outside your own environment, really, your own family home, to be fair. So yeah, it's interesting.
And how has that been for you? Was it an adjustment for this year? It's now been almost a year. Is it very taxing? Your family able to adjust? How has that been for you?
Yeah, so for me, it hasn't been too much of a change, actually, because in my current role and previous role, historically, we've always worked remotely anyway. So work-wise, it hasn't been that much of an adjustment, which is pretty lucky actually. If I think the more I think about it on that front.
Yeah.
But missing friends and being able to go out and have a drink or just meet up and go for dinner or something like that is something I do miss. So it's all been done virtually now, isn't it? So that's the biggest change for me at the moment.
It is. It is. My kids are now calling me COVID Karen, which, if you're familiar with the Karen meme, they have given me that moniker because I am the one who is trying to keep us all safe and keeping them from youth groups and things like that. It's a little different in our neck of the woods, but
Yeah.
um, hopefully the vaccines come. Now, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your current role?
Yeah, sure. So currently I'm down in Amarquaye. I'm head of partnerships now. So that's a company called Envolve Technology. Involved Tech for short. And I started this role back in just as lockdown was kicking in, actually. So that was back in July the 6th. I started this role for my previous company. I head out the partnership side of things. And Evolve Tech is we offer what we call a virtual shopping assistant, which sits on e-commerce sites. So it's part of the live chat channel. And we effectively act like a sales assistant on the websites. So we use AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning to understand the kind of queries and questions customers may have when they go onto a website to purchase something. So we help navigate that sales journey, if you like. And we provide contextual product recommendations through our widgets. Push them through to basket and purchase.
Now, is there a like a live chat component to that, or is it all through, like you said, those widgets?
Yeah, it's all machine learning actually, AI machine learning. So live chat, you need a physical person sitting behind that, answering the questions. So where we are able to support that is using the AI machine learning to answer those queries 24/7 without actually having a physical person there answering those questions for them. So, obviously in the times that we're in as well, it helps a lot of e-commerce sites to, reduce the CS strain on their team. We take that heavy lifting away from them and able to answer their customer's query at any time during the day.
Gotcha. And I think we talked on our prep call. You guys act in a very similar way to other affiliates. Now, do you offer these services in a kind of a traditional affiliate arrangement?
We do, and that's the beauty of our product. So we partner with the majority of the affiliate networks globally. So it's a pure performance play. We'll typically work on the same commission structure that they'll pay any other affiliate within the industry, really. So.
Gotcha. That's great. So a lot of advertisers listening be very comfortable with the financial arrangement of working with you guys.
Okay.
Now, how did you find the affiliate space? Where was that jumping off for you?
Yeah, that's interesting. So my first stints in affiliate marketing was actually on publisher side for my voucher codes, which was back in 2009, actually. So that was my first role in affiliate marketing, and I started there. We were actually came on board to they were actually just pushing out what they called a Christmas book within the affiliate marketing space, which was on print advertising, really. And then we did that for the Christmas period. So I literally started there in November of 2009, come up to November or so. We did that till the new year, and then we formed the company. Well, my voucher codes decided to form an account management team, and then my transition started really there, working with the affiliate networks like Rakuten, Google, affiliate network GAN back in the day. and so forth. So that's when my career really started in the affiliate marketing industry, and then obviously I was attending the shows, etc. And then once I was in it, there was no looking back. To be fair.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, when you were account manager, I think you were telling me the way that it was broken up is you worked with one primary network and all the programs within those networks on My Voucher codes. Is that how that was arranged?
Yeah, exactly that. So we're split by vertical, if you like. So I would look after GAN network, Google, Rakuten as well. Somebody else would look after, I don't know, affiliate window, um, commission junction, etc. So we're split by that kind of vertical. And yeah, I'd just liaise with the networks internally, understand what kind of advertisers they had on their books, and just manage the facilitation of them promoting their offers on My Voucherco's website, really.
Now, what were some keys to being successful in that role? For affiliates who are listening and are looking at arranging things that way or looking to improve, what was what were the keys to being successful as an account manager on the affiliate side?
Yeah, it was all about relationships, really. Really getting your team stuck into the networks, understanding the programs that they managed, and just being really hands-on with the relationship side of things. So we're lucky enough to be in an industry where partnerships is a big thing. So it's a pure partnership play in terms of working very closely with the networks to really understand the needs of their advertisers, and just being really flexible in terms of what we could offer them, whether it's homepage placements, newsletter placements, etc., and just having a pure partnership play going forward. So I felt that was the key for me to succeed in that field.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. How many times have we said, and I've said over the 20 years I've been doing this, that it's all about relationships. It's different than any other marketing channel. Now, for the advertisers that are listening, what are some common misconceptions that advertisers that you worked with had about My Voucher codes or affiliate marketing in general?
Yeah, so I think when I first started off in the affiliate space on My Voucher codes, the misconception a lot of advertisers or brands had were the devaluation of their product. And that was one of the biggest things that stood out to my mind, and I could see. So, we would typically work with a certain type of size of brand or advertiser. But I think over time we are now seeing a more brands adopting the use of affiliate marketing and different strategies into the affiliate mix. So I think that's for me, that's really what stood out for me when over the time I've been in the industry. Really, we're seeing bigger brands adopt the affiliate marketing strategy into the marketing mix. I'll throw that to you as well. I mean, you've been in the industry for a while, so did you find the same kind of thing? Are you seeing larger global brands coming more into the space now?
Yeah, and I think I completely agree with you on that misconception of where the affiliates. What we've seen is it's an emotional reaction they have, especially to coupons. Anytime you say coupon or voucher, there's an emotional reaction with a segment of advertisers, and they're typically without data to back up, they believe that those coupon sites can't be producing high quality customer acquisition. Just because the nature of the category name and what they do, there's always been, and this is from when I first started in affiliates in '99, all the way to a conversation I had last week.
Yeah,
There's a misconception that these are garbage sales coming through. I would have paid for them anyway. There is no technology available to help me with that.
yeah,
And I can not be in the affiliate space and I'll do just fine. So we talked on a number of podcasts. We have a bunch of different content available on our site that talk about that in spades. We did a sort of a white paper, and I think it's a three-part series on our site where we grabbed actual data and just said, okay, I'm gonna operate as if that sentiment is correct. Now I want to go and find data to support that. So we worked with, I think, 5 or 6 networks, affiliates, and advertisers to look at the actual data that was coming through. And yeah, there were some affiliates that were producing low quality data, but overall, the category was producing higher margins, higher average order value, more frequent purchases. And so the data didn't support, overwhelmingly didn't support that sentiment. So going forward now, what I've seen in that time, in this time frame, we've been through 2 recessions, a terrorist attack that devastated our country,
Yeah.
and now a pandemic. And what I've seen every time is in those instances is it forces adoption of e-commerce
Yeah.
and the channel more. So, right after 9/11, there was a lot of fear about a terrorist attack at shopping malls and large public gatherings.
Yeah.
And so those declined. Well, that forced more people to take their shopping online, and that allowed the adoption rate to increase, or created a dramatic increase in adoption of consumer behavior and change in their behavior. Recessions moved people to finding better deals. That meant more research, and that allowed content affiliates and coupon affiliates and the affiliate channel as a whole, loyalty, all of that to have a bigger impact on the space. And so now with the pandemic, I think we're seeing a lot of that too, is the stores aren't, there are certain places in our country that are open and you can still go shop everywhere.
Yeah.
Sometimes with a mask, sometimes not. Sometimes social distancing, sometimes not.
Yeah.
But as that is not available everywhere, people are still purchasing. It's e-commerce grows because of this. So we are seeing them open to it when you talk about data. If you can identify that misconception is either data driven with past experience or emotional. If it's data driven with past experience, that's a really tough nut to crack.
Yeah.
But if it is emotional, that's where we have the biggest opportunity to just say, hey, let's test some things. And here's this white paper of all the technology we have to make sure it's generating what you look at. So I think what we're seeing is more advertisers are diving into it that have been reluctant to before because technology is available. And if they have a really good team managing it, you're just managing to a specific goal. And usually it's not just top line revenue. It is going to be new customer acquisition, customer profitability, single channel contribution and things like that. So that's kind of what we're seeing now. But a similar movement of people who were reluctant to go in this channel now they still have the same acquisition goals and revenue goals that they did before stores closed. So they're looking for ways to augment that lost revenue.
Yeah, 100%. No, that makes sense.
Oh, so Dan, before I want to talk about publisher discovery, you have a really unique experience there, and the service is great. But what were you doing before the affiliate space? You shared some things with me on our prep call, and it was just I don't know. I'd love to hear about it. So, where did your career start, and what were you doing prior to the affiliate space?
Yeah, so I did a lot of jobs before before the affiliate space, really. So one of the first jobs I really had was it was in sales, but I was actually selling kitchens and bedrooms. So we would have a team of us. We would go around knocking on doors, asking if they'll be interested in a free design for their kitchen or master bedroom. And then we'll get a designer in. They'll then design the kitchen and bedroom for them, and then take it from there. Really. So I did that for about a year and a half, 2 years, and I was pretty good at it, to be fair. So I did that for a while. Built a team around me. I was driving around, borders of London, South London, etc., with a team of about 20 canvassers behind me. And then from then, I think the winter nights got a bit too much for me, and I decided to look for something else. So I then moved over to an office stationery company, actually, called Eurostats. They're no longer around. And again, that was more of a sales account management role. And I did that again for a short period of time. And then one day I just, I was on lunch and I thought to myself, right, okay, do I really enjoy what I'm doing here? And the answer was no. Picked up a newspaper, I looked through the job section, and then I saw a company called Exchange and Marts magazine were advertising. So I applied for that. A week or so went by, and then I got an interview there. So went in for the interview. I thought it was a great interview, etc. Then I was just waiting for a reply from them. I didn't hear anything back for another week or two. So I called them up again and I said, had an interview. I thought it went really well. Didn't hear anything back. Can I ask reasons why? Because of my tenacity, if you like. She gave me the job, so I started there, which is good. So I don't know if you're familiar with Exchange and Mart magazine at all.
I am not. No.
Right. Okay. They were pretty big in the UK, actually. So it was a print magazine. At the beginning, it had the motor section. The middle was home and garden, and then at the back it had business. So I was selling to what we call lineage adverts within the magazine, where you would call, I don't know, a car dealership, and then you would sell them some space within the publication. It was a weekly publication, and yeah, you would sell them the space within the magazine, and I did that for about 5 years or so.
Wow.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Moved up through the ranks within that. And then the digital, they went on, became digital from that. So that's when my digital career.
Now you start to move into what you're doing now.
Correct. Yeah. So that was my first stint into the digital space.
And now I want to go back to the door-to-door sales.
Okay.
I've done that when I was younger. I had a paper route, so I always had to go door to door, and always we had these initiatives to go door to door and sell the newspaper. I also, in Scouts, sold popcorn, and there was a lot of experience and a lot of emphasis on that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that can build, just hearing about that type of job and door to door sales can build a lot of anxiety in other people. Was that, when you first started, was that really hard to do? Was it, frightening as it may sound for some of our listeners, or did you that's just the way you're wired? You had no problem with it?
Yeah, I think initially it was a little bit daunting knocking on the door, but once you've done 2 or 3 under your belt, it felt quite natural. And the team, my boss, if you like, of the organization was, very, very confident of myself and made me feel like I could do anything, to be fair.
Wow.
Yeah, at that age, I must have been 17, 18 or so.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so it gave me a lot of confidence within that. And then quickly, it was about 2 or 3 months into the job, and he could see that I had there was something about me, and he allowed me to become a supervisor within the organization and the company. So I quickly then had a team behind me who I would train, I'll give them the confidence, to knock on the doors, etc. And then, it wasn't far too long that I could just take a step back and become the supervisor within that organization. So yeah, a lot of credit to Nick Derry, actually. So
Well, Nick, wherever you are, great job. Now, when you manage your own team, what was the way that Nick motivated and provided that confidence for you that then you transferred? How did that transfer happen?
yeah, he just allowed you to be yourself, really, to really express yourself, and try different techniques, etc., without any kind of judgment and so forth. And I think that's with sales or business development. I don't really see it as selling. It's a conversational piece,
Hmm.
So if you feel comfortable having a dialogue with somebody, I think it takes you a long way within sales. A lot of people look at sales and think, right, you're going to push somebody into doing something. I've never seen it like that. If somebody doesn't want to buy something and they're adamant about that, they're not going to buy it. So it's all about having that dialogue and understanding and yeah, a conversational piece to get the deal done, really. So yeah, he gave me that confidence and allowed me to really express myself and be myself within the organization. I think that helped a lot.
That's fantastic. My father has always said there's two things you should get experience on early in your life. Accounting, you should learn how to do that. Numbers are difficult to learn. Do it while you're young. And sales, because you're always going to need that relationship building experience later on. And if you don't have that, even finding your next job is going to be difficult. So definitely, I'm not surprised many of us in the industry started out and have done sales work. Now you led a team from an early age and have led teams, throughout your career. What are some of the key things about leading well that you've learned and carry on today?
Yeah, I think it's leading from example, really. I would never ask anybody to do anything that I wouldn't do myself, whether the task is difficult or easy to do. I think it's all about leading from example. And as I said before, letting your team be themselves, really, and being able to express themselves and enjoy what they do. I would never ask anybody to take a job or do something that they didn't really enjoy. So it's a big part of the success of I feel of leading a team is having people around you who A, you can bounce off, and B, you can be yourself around, and have no egos within the organization.
Now, tell me about Publisher Discovery. That is where you and I met.
Yeah,
We had a brief meeting at an affiliate summit back when we all could travel more than the block around our house.
that's right.
Hopefully, someday soon we get to do that again. But tell me about the origin of Publisher Discovery.
Yeah, so that was really interesting period in my career, actually. So I actually started off. It was actually LinkDex. So LinkDex. I don't know if you know too much about LinkDex, but LinkDex is an SEO company. So that was the main focus of their business, and then a side project, if you like, was LinkDex Publisher Discovery, which was a small team sitting beside us. So what LinkDex actually did was they re-engineered the SEO tool to analyze the affiliate landscape. So when I started there, it was myself and Chris Trajet. Our team leader there at the time was Michael Brandy. So there was literally three of us running that small department on our own. I say small department, but in a fairly big affiliate marketing industry. So, we would go to the shows. The first show I actually went to was Affiliate Summit West in Philadelphia. Yeah, so that was the first show I actually attended, and it was just myself Mark Flip, who was the CEO of Linkdex, Michael Brandy, and Chris Traggett. So yeah, that's where my career started with Linkdex. And then a few years down the line, 3 years down the line or so, Linkdex got bought out by a Canadian content company called Scribble, who are a content company. So what Linkdex decided to do was to make some changes within the organization and just focus purely on the SEO side of things. So unfortunately, what was happening is that they were making our position redundant. So the relationship I had with Chris Traggett, who became our business partner in Publisher Discovery, and I guess we'll get onto that shortly, was really, really good. We worked really well together within the department. So Chris was doing more of the account management side of things, and I was in the business development side. When those redundancies happened, I said to Chris, "It's like, what do you think they're going to do with the with the contracts of Publisher Discovery, with the affiliate side of things, etc." We had a conversation around that. We saw the opportunity that the industry was still interested in the affiliate recruitment tool that we had going on. We still had a tight client base. So I decided to speak to Mark, the CEO, and ask him the question whether we could continue that business on our own. Put the business plan together. He loved it. He allowed us to do that. And then Chris and I branched off on our own and set up Publisher Discovery as his own entity in his own right,
Wow.
Discovery Limited. And we ran that on our own. So that's where we met as well. So
Yeah, wow. So that's a fantastic story. So you saw they probably going to retire the service as their focus changed.
correct.
And what was that like, putting the business plan together and requesting like, hey, we want to still do this, and can we take this out and do this separately? Was that a difficult thing for you to do? Were all the sales training and relationship building you'd done prior made that just a very natural thing to do? Was it a struggle? I'm throwing a whole lot of questions at you, but I'm totally intrigued about how that decision was made and how that was done.
It's something I've always wanted to do, to be fair, Jamie. I've always wanted to, work for myself in some capacity. I've always had that desire, if you like, to do my own thing and run my own business. So when I saw the opportunity, it was a no-brainer for me from that sense, because we were effectively running that department on our own anyway, without not much backing from the SEO side of things, the Linkdex overall. We knew that it was something that we could do. I certainly knew it was something I could do. And then having the conversation with Chris Traggett, he felt exactly the same way. So after, it was literally a day or so, we just, got on the phone together. We spoke about it. We understood that we had, majority of the affiliate networks on our books. So it was just a case of reaching out to our contacts to, give them the heads up once we got the go ahead from Mark at Linkdex. And then once we could do that, then we knew we could potentially be onto a no-brainer good thing, really.
And was it technically difficult to separate that from another company? Because I know someone listening is going to be in a similar experience. Was it very hard to like make it a new legal entity and all that?
Yeah, so we had to set up go through company's house, etc. Jump through all the hoops and hurdles, etc. to get that set up. Because the department was already called and the product was already called Linkdex Publisher Discovery, we had already secured the domain name, etc. So it's just a case of making sure that Publisher Discovery was available as a domain. thinking back, I think we were trying to actually push for another name, but we ended up with just publisherdiscovery.com, which was perfect anyway. It does what it says on the tin. Everybody knew what it was. So it was a case of just negotiating with Linkdex for us to keep the name and just take off the Linkdex part of it and just run with Publisher Discovery Limited.
Awesome. So tell our listeners, what does Publisher Discovery do? What problem does it solve? Why is it something that advertisers should be looking at and utilizing?
Yeah, sure. It's a good question. So Publisher Discovery enables advertisers to find new affiliates, simply. So what it does, it analyzes the affiliate landscape, understands the affiliate tracking links. So it allows you as an advertiser to understand the affiliates or publishers your competitors are using. And you effectively create a gap analysis to then see the gaps of affiliates that you're working with compared to your competitors, and then cherry pick those affiliates and recruit them and bring them onto your own program. And that's globally anywhere in the world.
Oh, outstanding. And so that sort of is the holy grail, helps you get the holy grail of affiliate marketing, is those new publishers. And that's what everyone is talking about right now, whether that's influencers or more sort of joint venture partnerships and different things like that. Everyone is looking for, new blood, so to speak, outside of the top 20 affiliates that they already have. So you guys help them find or Publisher Discovery helps them find exactly who those are, so that they can reach out and start bringing them into their affiliate program.
Exactly. So it saves them a lot of time rather than, going onto Google, trying to find the affiliates, etc. It's very time consuming. Using Publisher Discovery allows you to find those publishers in one centralized point. Understand your publishers linking through to your competitors. So, that they're relevant publishers. You're saving time, and they're driving traffic to your space. So it's easy pickings for you.
Awesome. Now you're no longer there day to day. You're at Envolve. Talk to me about how that happened.
Yeah, sure. So for me, with Publisher Discovery, Chris and I ran that for 2.5, 3 years coming up. And then we grew that business really well, surpassed our expectations actually, which was great. So
awesome.
Yeah, really exciting time for us. And then 3 years down the line, we were acquired by CloudFind. So CloudFind brought AI machine learning to the technology, re-engineered it as well, added a few different components onto that. So where we would look outside of the networks and analyze the whole affiliate landscape, so competitors to recruit affiliates from anywhere in the world. CloudFind also brought in an internal publisher discovery element to the technology, where it will allow networks to mine their own affiliates within their own network and match that to their advertisers. So what that means is an advertiser could understand the affiliates within their own network that they're sitting on, and also recruit affiliates outside of their network and bring them on board as well. So that acquisition happened, which was great. And then to be honest, Jamie, I felt like I took it as far as I could take it. And then I was introduced, or I met with Envolve Technology actually at one of the shows in Vegas. So I met with Emma Smith, who's the CEO there at Envolve Technology, and she's a super smart lady. And a few conversations with her. I totally loved the technology. And an opportunity came up beginning of this year, and she introduced it to me. Said, Dan, we're looking for a head of partnerships within that organization. A 10-minute conversation again with her around the role, and I was sold. I thought, this is something that I could really get my teeth into and start a new venture, really. So again, it's in the startup remit. So again, something that is close to my heart in the startup environment, and yeah, it's a no-brainer for me.
Was it hard to leave the day-to-day of publisher discovery? It to me, it kind of feels like your baby. Was that difficult to realize, I have done all I can here, it's time for me to try something else? Was that difficult?
Yeah, it wasn't easy. It wasn't an easy decision, don't get me wrong, but I think with publisher discovery, because they were moving more towards an online automation kind of service. I knew that we had the relationships with the networks globally, all of them. So for me, the move across to Envolve was what was, it wasn't that difficult for me to really think I'm going to get my teeth into something new where I could really add value, etc., going forward. So I knew I'd taken publisher discovery as far as I could go, and I was ready for the next challenge, really.
Well, you definitely sound like you're a typical entrepreneur. Take it so far. I got to get something new now. That's awesome. Now, there's two words I've heard you mention a couple different times: acquisition and startup. I kind of want to dive into those for a little bit. What was it like to be acquired? You've gone through that several times now, and in different roles. As an employee and then as a co-founder. What was that like to be acquired, and what was it like to be acquired in different circumstances?
Yeah, so with publisher discovery, it took a long time, to be fair, back and forth, back and forth. If I remember rightly, it was there's a lot of negotiation,
Yeah.
a lot of paperwork that you had to go through. Luckily, I had Chris by my side to do that side of things, and our finance team, which was great. But it felt like it took a while for that to actually to go through. But it was it was exciting, but also quite scary in some ways, in terms of, as you mentioned, letting go of your project, if you like, and then opening that up to different ideas, etc. So, and with Cloudfind, they had a huge backing behind them, etc. So when it was just Chris and I, we can just rely on ourselves and innovate ourselves and run the organization without having to get a yes or no from
Mhm.
shareholders and so forth. So that was,
Not a lot of red tape and decision making.
yeah, exactly. So I think that was one of the challenges, and that I felt a lot of fear around. But once it happened, that fear was gone. It was it was a great team that came on board there. Obviously, a larger team with a lot of experience, etc. So that was one of the biggest challenges I feel, dealing with more people, etc.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of acquisitions in the affiliate space, and in the past we've had companies look at us, and that was my biggest thing is I never wanted to sell myself into a job.
Yeah,
I very much enjoy working for myself, and it's allowed me to create the life that we have. And so that was always my biggest concern. How do you think you got over that? Was it just like this is the natural progression? Was there a lot of conversations at home about what the next step is?
yeah. So I felt it was a natural progression. It's something Chris and I had spoken about, um, you know, in our time of running publisher discovery. We didn't know what happened so quickly, in all honesty. But that's credit to us in all honesty, and a relationship
Yeah, yeah.
within the industry, and the growth that we had in that short period of time. But when it did come, it was it was, the fear of the unknown was there. But when it did happen, it was smooth. And as I said, what Cloudfind would bring into the technology was a perfect match. So it was the right thing to do to take it to the next step with the online automation side of things, and the internal product recommendation,
Mhm.
so forth. So yeah, I had no qualms around that. I definitely felt like it was the right thing.
Awesome. Now, there, like I said, and we've both seen a lot of acquisition and aggregation going on
Yeah.
in our space right now. For someone going through that right now, or thinking about looking for a buyer, do you have any tips or advice for them before they get started, or if they're right in the middle of it?
Yeah. Obviously, you've got to do your homework in terms of those buyers. You've got to make sure that it is the right fit for you as well as them. I've never done anything purely for the financial gain from my point of view. It always has to feel right for me. Um, and the finance side of things will always come, I believe. So, I would say, don't ever sell your soul. Maybe it's easy for me to say
Mm.
that, but make sure that clients are coming first. Your base clients are coming first, and the service is still going to be the forefront of what you're doing, especially if it's been successful over many years. You've got to keep true to that value. Make sure that you look after your advertisers who effectively you've been partnering with, and they've been looking after you. And just good luck, good luck in that. Enjoy the ride.
Yeah, I enjoy the ride. I have always struggled with that when making big decisions like that, enjoying the moment that you're in. Now, you have been in startups almost your whole career. What is it about startups that's so exciting for you?
Oh, I love the day to day of not knowing exactly what the day's going to bring. If that makes sense, everything's
Hmm.
different. One day I could be doing the business development side of things. Next minute I could be doing account management. You could be doing a little bit of finance. You can be talking about strategies to pivot the your offerings, etc. And what I really love about it is being able to switch tactics fairly quickly, rather than having
Yeah.
to, you know, get permission from board members and whoever you need to get that from. So I just love the fast pace of the startup environment. Really.
Well, that kind of brings up, one of my last questions for you. As you've led organizations now, you're leading a team, you're head of partnerships. The last 13 months have been, definitely the last 12 months have been, pretty crazy for everyone. How do you plan your 3 month, 1 year, 3 year plan in this age of uncertainty where, even recently, like you said earlier, you guys went into is it tier 5 lockdown again, the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
Things were looking good prior to that. How do you plan, your department's goals? How do you help the company plan when things can change so quickly right now?
Yeah, I think we set for us, especially at Involve with them actually, is really flexible. We've got obviously got our business strategy and our goal for the next 3 6 months, and so forth. So we know where we need to get to as a business. But if a strategy is not working, like COVID happened, etc., and dealing with our partners. She allows us to be very, very flexible in our approach and our thinking with our partners, and encourages that, in fact. So we would have our strategy for the next 3 months, however, we're always evaluating that bi-weekly, monthly, and if something's not working, she'll be the first to say, let's switch it up, test something new, and then see how that goes, really. And then constantly just reevaluating our performance and making sure we're on track to hit our business goals, really. But as I mentioned before, it's all about she allows you, and we allow ourselves to be flexible, be yourself, enjoy what you do, and just take the rough with the smooth. Really, that's my advice to all.
Awesome. Love that. So my last question, it sounds like Involve Tech is what I would consider a technology affiliate, where you guys provide something beyond just not just a website, but beyond a website to find, new companies to buy from, purchase from, deals and things like that. So what do you think going forward in 2021 and beyond? What's the role of technology affiliates, right now and going forward? Do you think those expand and become a bigger pool of the affiliate industry? Is that the driver for innovation in our space?
I think so, definitely. I'm definitely seeing a shift from the affiliate networks, if you like, really adopting the third-party technology providers and providing that as a revenue driver for their brands, and being open to that, really. So if I look back a few months ago, I think it was quite the adoption wasn't as quick a take up from our partners and our networks. But I'm definitely seeing a shift across that now within the affiliate networks and the agencies as well. Really looking at third-party technology providers like ourselves and bringing it on board. So I think definitely in the future, and now, it's definitely the new set of publishers or affiliates, if you like, within our space, which we're going to see more of that coming in.
Yeah, and definitely, especially the ability to use the technology you guys offer on a performance basis, limits their initial outlay of budget, and allows them to test things like this more easily, because they don't have to spend, whether it's their own development budget creating things like this, or another vendor who charges you to have all these things take care of. So before we leave, tell us just a little bit more about Involve technology, what the advertiser could expect to see, and what it's like to work with you guys.
Yeah, so for us, and as you mentioned, for us, there's no setup fee to work with us. We work through the networks on a performance-based model. We've recently just brought on board Mark Bloomberg, who's spearheading our US strategy going forward as well, which is great. So we're expanding, so we build your virtual shopping assistant, we call it, for you, with no cost to yourselves at all. We setup is super easy. We typically ingest your frequently asked questions from your website. We then plug in your data feed or product feed into the virtual shopping assistants as well. And then we build the VCA in your own brand colors and tone. Give that to you to test in your own environment. Make sure it's answering all the queries correctly. And then we just set it live. It's a small piece of JavaScript code that sits on your website.
Yeah, that was my other question. Yeah, very simple to technically integrate.
Exactly. And it's a pure performance play. So we just take a small commission on any sales that we're able to drive through our widget through to your basket.
Now, can it be incorporated into like a tag manager?
Correct. Yes, it can.
Okay.
So yeah, all the tag managers through the networks or yourselves, really.
And do you guys have any limit on platform that the website is on that you can't work with?
No, we can integrate into most of them. There hasn't been one that we not been able to integrate with at the moment that I'm aware of. And because we are a virtual sales assistant, and what you will see is some sites will already have a live chat on their website, but we can plug into those as well. So the likes of Zendex, etc., who are out there, we can integrate with those as well, which is great. So what we typically see is that 60% of live chat conversations are missed sales opportunities. So where we use our AI machine learning is to understand those queries customers may have within a website, and then provide product recommendations through our widget. So we're doing two things. We're acting as a sales assistant, and we're also driving sales and reducing the strain on their customer support team.
Outstanding. Now, if someone listening wants to reach out and learn more about what you guys have to offer, what's the website URL and who and how can they reach out to you?
Sure. So the website URL is all the W's, Envolve, which is ENVOLVE, tech.com. And you can reach out to myself. It's dan.a@envolvetech.com.
Awesome. And I will include those in our show notes as well for anyone who is interested in reaching out. So what I love about these technologies is it's a lot of people look at affiliate channel as solely acquisition and new customer acquisition, but they also don't see is a conversion tool to help you with those lost carts and cart abandonment that you already have on the site. You can bring in a service like what you guys have and increase the sales through the traffic you're already getting. New traffic is always difficult to get. If you can convert more of what you already have on the site, that's a huge bonus. And it's nice to see you guys have that option. I definitely want to introduce you and this to the rest of my team so they can integrate that with their clients as well. Dan, thank you so much for spending the time today. Really appreciate getting to know you a little more today and on our prep call, and very exciting career path, and love the door-to-door stuff in the beginning of your career. I'm sure that did so much for you in building relationships throughout your career. Really appreciate you taking the time with me today.
Jamie, thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on your show. I've enjoyed it, and thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, we will include a bunch of this stuff in our show notes, and maybe we'll get a chance to have you back later this year to talk about a host of other things I wasn't able to get to. But Dan, thank you again, and have a great day.
You too. Thank you. Cheers, Jamie.
Dan, thank you so much for a very intriguing conversation. Learned a ton today. Now, you guys, if you're listening and you want to see or you want to read all these tips and key points from our conversation, definitely check out our podcast on our website. So you can go to JEBCommerce.com/podcast. And there includes every episode of our podcast, as well as a summation of our conversation that includes contact info when available. You can actually play the podcast there, but it also includes top tips and highlights and quotes. So you can find a whole lot more there. This was a really intriguing conversation, really learned a lot, some good leadership lessons in there. And the most is, what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing from Dan is, be flexible, and especially when it comes to planning for this year. I love what he talked about, bi-weekly evaluation of your plan, and are we on track for that? Lots of testing, flexibility, constant evaluation, and to be yourself. One a thread that Dan weaved throughout the entire conversation is the importance of being yourself. And we're going to dive into that more with some other conversations we have coming up. But make sure, if you're interested in finding out how Envolve Tech can help your website convert more of your customers that are already there, make sure you reach out to Dan to remind you there's no setup fee. It's performance only. You can integrate with a tag manager, and really no platforms keep you from doing that. So really cool product. We're going to be introducing it to our clients when it is appropriate. But if you'd like to be a guest, you can email me at gethelp@JEBCommerce.com. We would love to talk to you about being on the podcast. And if you found this episode great, please share it on all your socials. And we would really appreciate a 5-star review, whether that's at Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or the player of your choice. And if you have recommendations or feedback, we would love to hear that as well. And you can contact us at gethelp@JEBCommerce.com. Now, since the start of the pandemic in early 2020, I have set aside my Fridays to help you. So if you need help with anything we talked about today, or anything revolving an affiliate program and affiliate marketing in general, please go to calendly.com/Jamie Birch, and you will be able to set up time with me directly, whether that's 15 minutes, half hour, or even an hour, to talk about these issues. So please take me up on that. I want to do what I can to help you be successful in these turbulent times. So thank you again, and please leave us a 5-star review and let us know what you think of the podcast.